All right, good afternoon, all. Thank you once more for joining today's video. On today's video, I have with me Olanrewaju Oyinbooke. I'm sorry if I murdered his surname. For short, I call him Ola. He's a senior data scientist in the space, and today he's going to give us insights, tips, and ideas through which beginners, intermediates can scale through their data career. Wherever you are, you have zero experience, little experience, going to teach us on how we can scale our careers from zero to hero. Thank you, Mr. Ola. I'm so glad to have you here with
Thanks,
us.
David. It's an
So,
honor for having me.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. So, briefly, I'd like you to just tell us about yourself. Yeah. Yeah. Let's get to know you.
So, by name, as David said, I'm Olanrewaju Oyinbooke. So, you tried for my surname. It's quite
Oh,
well.
thank you.
Yeah. So, I today I'm leading a data management office team where I look into data architecture, data governance, data management. I oversee the activities of data scientists and the rest. But prior to this, I wasn't just in this role. I was a data scientist, and before being a data scientist, I was a data analyst. And before being a data analyst, I was more or less a student of statistics. So this sort of summarize what I do officially and outside work. I'm big on community advocacy and contribution. I'm a Microsoft MVP for Power Platform, which is business application. And I'm happy to be on this show today to share my experience with you all.
Wow. Wow. Guy, you see, we have a Superman in our midst. He has all the wealth of experience. He says he moved from being a student to being a data analyst to being a data scientist. So, whichever phase you are you a student? Are you a data analyst? Are you a data scientist? You have so much to get out of this conversation. Thank you so much, Ola. So, tell us about your career, how you built it over time, right? You said you are now a Microsoft MVP into automation, productivity, and stuff like that, and you came in from being a data scientist, from being a data analyst, from being a student. So how did you do this? Like in Nigeria, in Lagos, like you're not in the UK, in Lagos, Nigeria. Just tell us, yeah.
Yeah, it's a long journey within a short time.
Wow,
Because
wow,
all these things started while I was in university. I finished in 2015, just 6 years.
wow,
And
wow.
while I was on campus, I always loved data. Anything about data, I love it. And everyone around me knows that this guy loved data. And I've been looking for opportunity where I can work actively with data. Anywhere I get to, I try to look for that opportunity. So I started freelancing. I started freelancing service on Fiverr, same 2015. And that exposed me to a lot of things. I was able to work with PhD students, master students, pharmaceutical industry, archaeologists. Is that really wide? Retail stores and the rest. Some of these popular brands, including Samsung. I work for them. As a freelancer then, and that shows me that guy, this skill is valuable. People need data analysis or science, all those skills, they need it. And I realized that there's a
Wow.
data gap. Data are being generated as an exponential rate, while the skills are just growing at an arithmetic rate. So there will always be more than enough data, and we'll have lesser people with the skill to work on it. So that helped me to shape my interest in the data space, that okay, there is job security for me if I'm good in this space. I continued and I started working. Prior to coming to insurance, I was more or less a retail credit analyst before 2017, and I was appraising loan. Will this loan work? Will it not work? And what are the risks of the payment and the rest? Filling the form and doing all those things. When I finally got the opportunity to come into insurance, from the interview, they knew this guy want to do data. I let them know openly that I have a lot of interest in data and I want to help your organization. I want to work with data to improve the business, to give more intelligence, more to just help the organization to be more data informed, and that way driving growth, reducing cost, and also optimizing their processes. So the first project I was put on as a business transformation analyst was a dashboard analytics project, and that was to build the
Wow.
first dashboard for the organization. It doesn't exist before, because maybe the nature of the data was not that strong. And we were a team of three. We have to come in. We have other teams on different projects, but we're a team of three on this particular one. We have to do ETL, use Python, connect to different databases. We have to build user SQL to optimize and build dashboard using Power BI. We work for different entities. I did quite a lot there for 1 year and a half. I mean, 1 year and 1 month rather. While I was done, not that I was really done, I just realized that analytics is a continuum. And I can't just stay stuck with doing descriptive and diagnostic by building report and dashboard. So I made a proposal. I wrote a proposal and said, I want to start the first data science team here. I mean, that sounds crazy. I've never been a data scientist, but I know I read a lot, I learn a lot. So I brought together different use cases and what I've been learning and maybe some of those certifications that I've gotten by writing some exams. Then it was approved. Then I was the pioneer resource, to start a data science team, as a beginner, and I have to make it work. So it means a lot of learning will take place. So either you have the experience or not. I didn't have the experience and I started one. And today the team is established. We've built more than 2, 3, 4 models that the business is consuming, AI powered models,
Wow.
you know. And
Wow.
when you look at it that way, so
Wow.
after a year and a month doing all those things, so much was accomplished. Honestly, I was then moved to the unit where I then more or less as a data architect, solution architect, where I oversee the activities of data scientists. I check on the data analyst work. I see through the data architecture, lead the data architecture effort, things around data management, data maturity, master data, and the rest. So that's what I pretty much do today.
Wow, wow. That's an interesting journey, Ola. That's a very, very interesting journey. You moved from being a student to building a data team. So guys, doesn't matter wherever you are right now. If you have zero knowledge, you can begin from where you are to becoming a data leader in the nearest future. And you mentioned about interest. You mentioned something about interest. Like interest is really key. Your interest was sure from the point beginning, like you knew that this is what you wanted, and then you went out for it. You also talked about freelancing. We'll get there. We'll go back to freelancing, right? In the data industry, because lots of people like they develop these skills and then, but then they really don't have opportunities to get jobs and all that. So freelancing would be an option. We'll come back to that. So before we get back to before we move on, I'd like to ask you, as a student transiting into a data role, what skills did you consider, or do you consider were like the power skills that helped you make this transition easy? I know that perhaps you were learning on your own, you were self-learning. Did you learn all the skills at the same time? Did you start with Excel, SQL? How was your learning journey? How would you advise someone who just said that, okay, guys, learn this first, master this, just start learning part? Like, how was it for you?
So thank you. While a lot of people today often ask this question so that they can figure out what skill or tools they should go and pick up, I'm going to
Okay,
summarize mine from different angles. My
please
learnings
go
are
ahead.
always powered by possibilities. So I think about solution.
Wow,
Take for example,
wow.
when I started and after I finished where I was serving, I
Mhm.
started thinking, how can I build a project like this? And when I think about the particular project, I will go online and search about that project. What does it take? How to build this? How to do this? I will then see different things that you need to know to be able to build them. So that pioneered me, okay, let me go and start learning these skills. Sometimes I will learn some for 1 month, I will abandon them because I want to learn them to do it, to do something. So it's not
Mm,
just okay, go and learn SQL, go
mm,
and learn that.
mm,
So when I
mm.
come up for my, so for example, if you are trying to do data analysis, you can say to yourself,
Yeah.
I want to build an interactive dashboard about maybe Premier League players that shows their history, that when you click, shows their profile, pictures, everything. You can visualize that in your head. So how can I get this done? That's how you start learning the skills. Oh, I have to go to get the data, Premier League data. Okay, how can I scrape it online? Where can I download it from?
Wow,
You get it, you learn the
wow.
skill to download. How do I then build the dashboard? And for you to build that
Mm,
dashboard, you will now start querying Google or YouTube about different things, not just
mm, mm,
Power BI for beginners.
mm,
You're saying the DAX,
mm.
which DAX can I use to create this particular KPI? So how to do date
Yes.
difference, how to do this. That way you are
Mm.
learning. Otherwise you learn a beginning, you just be repeating yourself in different beginners courses, different webinars for
Tutorial,
beginners, but
tutorial
the thing is not there.
cycle.
So
Yeah.
sometimes I'm not always successful with all these things because I will attempt
Yes.
them. Sometimes I couldn't take it further because I could not comprehend the concept that is needed to actually solve those
Mm,
things. But I've
mm,
stretched
mm.
myself to go that route to understand, okay, there's a limitation
Yeah.
somewhere. So I
Mm,
won't give
mm,
up. doggedness,
Wow.
because the interest is there. I won't give up, go and find something else again to work on. One day I'll be looking for
Mm.
someone who understands my mistakes or my limitation. So if I have any
Yeah.
opportunity, I can just ship it in and ask the person or share that idea with that person. So the person get to know, you
Mhm.
need to know this to be able to do that. Okay, so it's a concept that I need to know. All right, I'll try to also learn. Overall, while I was trying to do that, that helped me to master my Excel skill. That helped me to introduce me to Python, not just Python for general programming purposes, but for
Mhm.
data science
Yeah.
and analysis. So I wasn't talking about OOP now, but after the major
Yeah. Yeah.
library, the NumPy, Pandas,
Yeah.
I get familiar with them, was able to use them well.
Mhm.
That got
Mhm.
me familiar
Mhm.
with visualization too. I am more or
Wow.
less a futurist. I adopt early technologies very fast. I
It's,
have been using
yeah.
Tableau since 2015 because I was going everywhere. It wasn't like I was so
Wow.
much perfect with it. Then I think it's
Wow.
just 7 days free trial. They were disturbing. I just
Yes.
finished
Yes.
university.
Yeah.
Oh. They were disturbing me to come and buy. I said, me, I was just trying to use this. I don't have the money to come. But you will find me there using different tools that are coming out because I want to learn them. I want to understand
Wow.
those concepts. So this helped me when I was coming up. But if I'm to suggest to
Mm.
someone who is, who want to go through that route, will I say go through
Mhm.
the same route that I went through? To make things faster and easier for you, there are tools, there are languages, there are concepts you need to
Mhm.
know that will help you.
Mhm.
First, you need to
Mhm.
understand that analytics is a continuum. So, where's your plan? Do you want to
Mm.
be a
Mhm.
data scientist?
Mm.
Maybe you start by
Mm.
being a data analyst. And once you
Mhm.
understand because it will help you. If you understand how to analyze data, visualize, and truly interpret business, then
Mm.
building models will be easier for you to acquire the
Yeah.
additional skills. So if you're on that route, or for example, a data analyst now, what are the basic things you need to learn? First, you need to pick a tool. What tool do you want to use? But primarily, I will advise start with Excel. A lot of things you can do, and you can build those dashboards and report. There are courses free that will show you how to build dashboard and report in Excel. Be able to replicate them.
Mhm.
And after you are done, that will expose you to basic concept in analysis, visualization, the choice of charts and graphs to use, what KPI means to the business, how to use filter, select query, and few of those things. When you see how
Wow.
it's played out in Excel, curiosity then starts. Oh, how can I do
Yeah.
this with Power
Yeah.
BI?
Yeah.
How can I do
Yeah.
this with
Yeah.
Tableau? How can I use Python to
Yeah.
replicate this? But you've been able to do it with a tool that is, you can easily interact with. So
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
way you can learn a concept without stretching yourself too much because you won't have to stretch yourself too much with Excel and you will have gotten the concept.
Mhm.
The next question is
Mhm.
how can I
Mhm.
then do this with these tools that are
Some
being
other
in use
tools.
today?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then
Yeah.
you can then go for
Wow.
those tools. And while going for those tools,
Wow.
pick projects. The best way to learn
Mhm.
is to do, for
Project
me,
based.
I used to write out. Okay, if I want to learn, I want to build
Mm.
machine learning models, I'll just pick 2 or 3 different things. Can I do this? Can I do
Mhm.
this prediction? Then go online. Is there data available on that? When I can get data, then do I have people that have done something on it? If not, I will start. Just to do something for myself. If they've done something, I will go through their code, I will review, but I'll definitely work on mine.
Yeah. 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 Wow. 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 One of the things I got out of what you just said is that we need to take project-based learning. You don't just pick a tool or pick a skill and learn it in isolation, right? Data science, data analytics cannot be done in isolation. All these tools interact with themselves. So if you have a goal in mind, oh, I want to be able to do a dashboard, and I say, what tools do I need to use a dashboard? Okay, Excel, okay, Power BI. You now start learning these things, and it works really great. And from my personal experience, I noticed that if you're able to like understand the concepts of working with Power BI, you can easily relate it to Tableau, can easily relate it to Google Data Studio because you already have the concept, right? You don't need to the learning curve will be reduced. So guys, learning anything, take it from a project-based standpoint. Don't pick things in isolation, have a goal in mind. And you also spoke about data sets online. There are free sites you can get data sets online on Cargo, our world in data. You can find these data sets, speak them or play with them. So, because you can't say you have interest in data without playing with data, right? I remember when I started learning, one of my mentors, Azubu, I started with Python, right? I was doing isolation, just like you said. And so I was in a tutorial circle, like doing tutorials over and over again. And I felt like I was not learning anything. But I was doing tutorials for weeks. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't apply myself on anything. And then she was like, "Hey, David, calm down. Go and learn Excel. Go and master, use Excel and work with data." So when I started doing some stuff with Excel, plotting histogram charts on Excel, I'm gonna understand, okay, this is how these things work. Oh. And so by the time I was able to go to Python, it made sense, right? That kind of a thing. So guys, let's put these things to work. So I have another question for you. You have
Okay.
a background in statistics. I have a background in chemistry.
Wow.
Your background in
Interesting.
statistics. Does it have an advantage over me, who has a background in chemistry? Who somebody else may have a background in humanities, somebody else may have a background in sociology, but then they have interest, right? They really want to break through because they see that there's a demand in the data space. Like you said, data is the new oil, right? And then people need to be skilled to take leverage out of this oil. But they may have background in art courses, right? Humanities, sociology, chemistry, engineering. You have statistics. Do you think that you have more benefits than they would? Do you think their courses would limit them? And if so, if that is what you think, well, how would you advise? They just That's my question. What are your thoughts around that?
It's a tricky question because I don't want to say yes, I don't want to say no, and I'm going to explain my my situation. So,
All right.
having background in statistics can be an advantage,
Mhm.
but not all statisticians knows how to run this data thing that we are doing.
Of
So,
course.
and that's the hope. I have people within my network today. You did by microbiology. I have
Mhm.
someone, a lady who
Yeah.
studied plant biology.
Wow.
Yes, plant
Wow.
biology. She has not just done
Wow.
maybe building dashboard or done analytics. She's into data science. She has competed in different
Wow.
competitive data science.
Wow.
Like
Wow.
that.
Wow.
I have someone today who did maybe something like hospitality and did a master's in Mandarin. Come on, how is a
Whoa.
Mandarin? How is that related? She's on my
I
team.
didn't get
If
it.
you put SQL there now,
Wow.
what she will write in 5 minutes. Me myself, I have to start reviewing the code. Where is this table? Oh, this is it. I mean, so yeah, it is. And I've heard of people who
Mm,
actually studied language like English or Yoruba. A friend of
mm,
mine who is also in this data analysis space got inspired by someone who worked for MTN then, far back 3 4 years ago, and this guy studied
mhm.
English from university. When being asked, said,
Wow.
is the need to make money. That alone can make me go learn what I need to learn. So here it is. The messages and the stories from people all around us today shows us how possible it is to move into this space irrespective of your background. But one thing I found out is the personality of the learners. It is not even more or less
Wow.
about
Mm,
the discipline. It's the personality. Some people did English, but they have the logical thinking that makes it easier for them to understand this tech thing.
mm.
You know,
Logical
you
thinking.
get because
Yeah.
those concepts, it's appealing to some personality than the other. And some
Mm-hmm.
people easily grab, oh, I understand. They can easily relate it to any other aspect of their life to understand the concept better than some people. I don't get those concepts faster. That's something about it. But I go through them
Yeah.
over and over again. I
Mm.
finished university with the first class, not because I
Wow.
not because
Wow.
when they teach us I get everything from the first day. No.
Yeah.
I'm that kind of guy that will go back and do it over and over and over again before I can get it. But
Mm.
at the end, did I get it?
Wow.
Yes. Did I have this course?
Yes.
Yes. So that's
Yes.
also how I've been on this data track. I have to learn many of those things repeatedly several times so that I can master them because I'm not that guy that easily pick it up. So
Mm.
irrespective of your, profile, you should know that you can do it. Discipline that you study is not really, it does not play so much of a role here based on the experience and the success story that we have today. Discipline is not, it's not about the discipline, it's rather about your personality. Do you think things like
Wow.
tech, things like programming, does it appeal to you? Some people cannot even do one plus one
Mhm.
because that's their personality. So,
Okay.
they rather go and write a blog post, they write stories, write those things. Yes,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that's one thing I found
Mm.
out. It's not about the discipline, it's about your personality and your
Your
willingness to also
interest.
push further, and
Yeah.
stress yourself.
Wow. 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 Thank you so much, Ola. So I have another question. So I've been learning data science for 1 year. I've learned Excel. I've done some Excel courses on Coursera, some Power BI courses on Udemy, a course here and there on SQL. When should I apply for a job? Or should I do freelance? Okay, no, I'll go to freelance later. And this question now is, when should I apply for a job? And the follow-up question after this question is, as a hiring manager, because now you're going to the point where you hire, what do you look out for in new hires, right? Do you expect them to be super experienced, like you to have like 5 years, 10 years experience? So for newbies, what do you expect of new hires? Like those are the two questions. At what point should I start applying for jobs? I've been learning. When do I know I'm ready to apply for jobs? Question number one. Question number two, as a hiring manager, what do you look out for in these people? Especially the people with little or no experience, right? What do you look out for? And how can
Thank
they
you.
stand out?
Thank you. The data space is becoming very saturated. I mean, that
Okay.
the job is there, saturated
Yeah.
because we have so many people at the beginner level who are looking for that
Mm,
internship opportunity.
mm,
So many
mm,
people.
mm.
Meanwhile, most of the things
Wow.
needed is
Wow.
people at the intermediate level to actually get the work done.
Mm.
So the saturation
Wow.
is at the
Wow.
beginners
Wow.
level. All right.
Mm.
And that's based on my experience with a lot of people who
Yes, sir.
always approach me.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. So, as someone who is learning, these are a few things that you should focus on. One, try to build a portfolio. So, all those projects you are
Okay.
just, or all those videos and courses you are taking, make sure you build something from there. And if you
Okay.
can build something from there as a portfolio, and one or two things, yes, and you then try to understand what your learning gap is. You know what are the things you don't know, and you think when you work in an organization you'll be able to know them. Number three, know what you can contribute to an organization. It's as simple. You don't know everything, or you are still an leader, but if you want to work for a company, what do you think you can do? So when I'm interviewing you, are not telling me why do you want to join us? I say, because I've read about you, you are amazing organization, I'll be able to grow my career. Be able,
Mhm.
that is
Mhm.
good, but tell me what you
Mm.
can do for us. No, there's
Mm.
nothing simple, but be
Mm.
confident about it. I have built a couple of
Yeah.
projects, and then I believe I come on board. Even if you are not allowed to build those models that you build today, you can be rest assured that doing the EDA and presenting the data in a well-defined story, telling story with this data,
Mm.
I can take that off from your team. And while
Mm.
you guys can focus on building the model, I can help you clean the data because data are not always coming clean.
Mhm.
When you
Yeah.
mention those
Yeah.
things,
Wow.
they say that
Wow.
okay, okay,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
it's obvious. This same
Mm.
thing, every other guy can also do it, but you are
Yeah.
confident that I will come in and do this for you.
Mhm.
So we don't
Mhm.
expect you to say you will come in and build this model. You don't have that much of an experience, but be confident with
Oh.
what you
Mm.
think your level can do. Which at least you can do it there. You can do, data storytelling around that model. You can put documentation together. I can support your team by putting proper
Yeah.
documentation on all these
Current
projects.
documentation.
When you hear that, a lot of teams today does not have, documentation for their project. But when you just mention that alone, wow, okay, at least they have someone now who can be capturing all these technical things that we are doing.
Wow.
So when
Documentation,
you have
right?
these three things, you will not be afraid to
Mm.
even approach any organization that I want to work with you. And any
Wow.
opportunity you get, you'll be able to defend it and be more confident, with it.
Wow.
So that's what
Wow.
I also look out
Wow.
for. I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
expect
Yeah.
you to
Yeah.
learn.
Yeah.
But when I ask you what do you know, I can be asking you a series of questions. Okay, if you tell me based on the project you've done, these are the skills you have acquired.
Okay.
For example, when I was working on Titanic data, I realized that while SGBoost and Ensemble model are good, sometimes when you
Mhm.
tune
Mhm.
and you understand the data and use the logistic regression, you might get the best of the result. Wow, that's a learning. So you are not just telling me
Mhm.
I've built this portfolio, but you explain what you're able to learn there and say, I also
Learn
noticed
out
that
of
I
it.
don't know much about deployment. I can use Flask, but I don't know Azure and all these cloud, services
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's something I can easily pick up because I'm very open to learning. Wow. I won't see you as a beginner. That confidence should
Yeah.
be there to know
Wow.
what you learn while you were building your portfolio. What is your learning gap?
Mhm.
You should be able to be confident to tell them, this is my learning gap, and I believe
Mm.
it's something that if I'm
Wow.
exposed to opportunity, I will catch up. And finally, what will we do for the organization? Tell
Mm.
them. Nobody will hear
Wow.
that and say they will say this guy is the right fit for us. But that's what is missing
Wow.
today.
Mm. Mm. Wow. Wow. So from your experience, just to add a little to this, from experience of hiring, interviewing lots of people, what would you say is the most frequent drawbacks you see that say, oh, this is not this person, not this person, even though they are newbies and you want newbies to join the team? What are those things that you see and say, oh no, not this person, not this person? Do you think we are having what's the word? People who frame to have the skills but don't really have the skills? Do you meet people like that, like who have a like inflated CV with so many things, but then they don't really have the skills? So what are those things that you see and say, oh, not this person, not this person, those kind of
Don't let us mention names, and that is why I say that the field is very saturated. It is very saturated
things?
at the beginners level.
Wow.
Everybody, there's hardly someone that I've come across that will not tell me that I have interest in data analysis and data. You will see those keys there. You will see those major keywords you are looking for. You see it on their CV.
Hmm.
But
Wow.
the previous thing
Wow.
I talked about, which are the three things, where's your
Yeah.
portfolio? What did you learn while building this
Mm.
portfolio? One, number two, what are your learning gaps? And what can you contribute? So they are not confident to tie these three stories together to their CV.
Mm.
When you interview
Mm.
them, I've done a couple of interviews because I recruit interns
Mm.
to my team.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised that many of them, they just, do you know this? No. Do you know this? No. Have you done this? No. Do you have a portfolio? I build some things, but I don't have a portfolio. All of a sudden, you are unable to fix them. Okay, this is what he
Mm.
did not know. This is what he knows. Okay, if I bring him in, I'll just show him this. You'll be able to catch up or something.
Yeah.
You're unable
Yeah.
to figure that out. It becomes a
Fix.
challenge.
Yeah.
So the
Wow.
discrepancy is there.
Wow.
The CVs are beautiful, but I'm not really sure the skills are really that there.
Wow, 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 wow. Thank you so much, Ola. Guys, you're listening to this. If you don't have a portfolio, get a portfolio. I think one of the first things I did after getting a few projects was to get a portfolio. I completed Audacity's nano degree program. And so doing the project helped me realize that, okay, guy, you're doing some projects, so get a portfolio ready. So it's critically important, guys. Get your portfolio. There are simple ways. I think, Ola, you've done a video on how to do a portfolio, right?
I'm not, in particular, I am not sure.
I think I saw
But
something
I've done
like
a
that.
couple of videos,
Okay,
I've
okay.
talked about that, but creating a portfolio, I'm not sure.
Okay, okay, wow, wow. All right, so by the way, Ola has a YouTube channel where he teaches people on data analytics, how you can create, how you can move in your career as a data analyst or data scientist. He teaches several lots of things, also on automation as well, and using Microsoft Power Tools. I'm going to put the link in the description below so you can go over there and get your learning to the next level.
Thank you,
All
David.
right. So, Ola, thank you so much for that point. All right, so I'm also going to ask you about your productivity hacks. um Oftentimes, lots of people who are in beginner stage, they are actually perhaps working already or not working, and they are, how are you able to still stay productive so that your learning is meaningful, right? So you don't burn out after 6 months. I can't do this anymore, and even at the beginner level, how do you increase your productivity so that you can break through from beginner to intermediate? Do you have some productivity tips you use here and there that has helped your learning become consistent over time?
Well, that question has different answers. Different answers because my
Wow.
hacks might not really work for some people, but I'm going to share with you.
Okay. All
It's
right.
it's a bit weird because today, how do I address my concern? For example, if I'm sad, the next thing you see me on system learning something. That's if I'm angry, you see me on
Wow.
system completing a project I've not done. I pour my
That's an
aggression,
anger
I pour my
management
anger, I
strategy.
pour everything into learning. If I'm happy, you see me back on
Wow.
the system.
Guys, take note of that, man.
It's a bit weird, but it gives me so much joy going back to learning. Any small thing. So
Hmm.
all those are you distracted? Learning comes natural to me
Hmm.
because I have turned it to an habit. And it's
Hmm.
also risky because I can easily be distracted. So, and that's where being
Hmm.
focused comes in.
Hmm.
So there are a
Yeah.
lot of things
Yeah.
this year that I've taken up that
Yeah.
I will evaluate quickly. Is this thing, am
Hmm.
I going to finish it? I can
Hmm.
come across a lot of courses online. Quick, very interesting.
Mhm.
Wow, I watched
Mhm.
the first video. Should I continue? There are still videos, though. I see a lot. So
I get
I
that. I understand
I
that.
ask myself sincere question. I will breathe in. what do I want to do with
mm,
this? Is it the right time?
mm.
What if this same 20 minutes that I will use for this course, I just go back to that same thing that I was doing and finish it up? It's better finished than half done.
Yeah, yeah.
So that way,
Better
I
finish.
will I will either save it, mark it somewhere, or put the link and say abandon it. I will go back to that one. So we have information overload around us. A lot of things flying around,
Yes,
and
sir.
people are just
Yes, sir.
losing their
Yes, sir.
focus. Go there, go there, go
Yes, sir.
back here, go back here. Today is Python, tomorrow is Power BI, today another day is Flask. You're just all
SQL.
SQL, you
Heroku.
get. So I try to be focused. Sometimes you can look back. Okay, am I actually learning what I should learn right now? So okay, maybe you now meet with someone and say, okay, this is actually my goal, and this is what I'm doing right now. What I'm doing, is it the best part? Okay, you want to be a data scientist. Right now you are taking Harvard course on programming. You know, some people, that's the course they have access to. That computer science CX 500 or something from Harvard.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
too
On
technical.
YouTube, yeah.
It's too technical, my
Yeah.
friend. And you know, they are doing it, they are struggling, they are doing it. But they just believe,
Mm,
am I doing the right thing? Yes, you are taking the course for programming. I want to be a data scientist. But when you meet with someone who is
mm,
experienced, it lets you know, oh, okay, so what do you
mm,
know how to do today? Where is your skill level first? Okay, what are
mm,
the gaps?
mm.
Then, okay, I think based on this gap that we've identified, you should start with this. This concept help you faster, and you start, then move to this, they can then structure or recommend some learning resources for you, which when you follow, you just realize, wow, why was I spending 1 month, 2 months, trying to consume Harvard?
Wow.
It's not like they are not good, but you must
CFP.
have some fundamental knowledge
Yeah,
before you can even go
yeah.
and consume what
Exactly. Exactly.
those guys are
Exactly.
are somewhere at the top there. so that is it. So
Wow.
sometimes you get
Wow.
someone who will help you to be focused by redirecting
Yeah,
you
yeah.
to the real learning resources.
Okay, so you just went into my next question because this is the concept of mentorship, right? And mentoring. So you just speak a little bit more about it. What is the place of mentoring in your career journey? Speaking from technical perspective and also from a soft skills perspective. And where can I find mentors, right? How do I find them? Where should I find them?
Wow, mentorship. Okay. The reason why I have to breathe down and breathe in and breathe out is because
You're a
I,
mentor to many.
I'm not like being proud of this. I self-taught
Yeah.
myself.
Wow.
So it was
Wow.
never a smooth journey for me. And
Mm,
today I
mm,
still look for opportunity, to continue to learn from people. But I have helped people as a mentor. And I've seen how their learning journey has been shortened because there's someone there
yeah.
for them. And that's the advantage, because mentorship helps you. This year
Mm,
alone, uh, many people have come to, okay, where are you now? I do a sort of assessment. I will do a call with them, understand what they've done, jot it down, note it with them. Where do they want to be? Okay, what skill do they have now? Oh, guy, you're on the right path. These are the things you need to focus on. In the next 3 months or 2 months, do this, but keep reporting to me every month as accountability partner.
mm.
And some people,
Wow.
when I see them 1 month, 2 months, they did not come, I know that these guys are not
You're not
ready.
serious. This,
They are not
you're not
serious.
serious.
But mentors help you to be focused, to be
Mm-hmm.
accountable, and they shorten your
Mm,
learning journey.
mm,
Because, of course, they are a great source of opportunity. All the people that I've
wow.
mentored, when I see
Mm-hmm.
opportunity, I recommend them because I can vouch for them.
Wow. Wow.
So
Wow.
looking for a job everywhere might also be with that mentor, but you are not
Mm,
coming to him or
mm,
her because come and
mm.
give me job.
Yeah.
So if you watch this video
Mm-hmm.
and approach me on LinkedIn and say, that guy will give me job, I'm not guaranteeing
You
any
get
job
plenty
for
connection
you.
requests.
I'm not guaranteeing any job for you. But the reality is this:
Yeah.
it can be very helpful to get a job.
Mm.
So I
Wow.
have
Wow.
most of my mentors are distance mentors. They're people I follow from afar, and because I couldn't approach them,
Yeah.
like, for example, in blessed memory of Hans Roslin. Hans Roslin
Mm.
is my first mentor in the data visualization space. He is a
Wow.
professor in public health
Wow.
before and moved to, he just diverted his life to statistics. He's from Sweden.
He's an author, right?
Yeah, he's an actor. He does
He
this.
has a book. I think
He tells
I've read the book
story
by him.
with data. He died, I mean, in
So yes,
2015.
storytelling with data. I
Yes,
think
with
that's the
data.
book,
And
storytelling
so
with data.
he has
Yeah.
featured in BBC, in WHO. He
Wow.
tells a lot
Wow.
of fantastic stories with data.
Wow. The book I read the book not too long ago and really amazing. Really, really amazing. Really
Fantastic. You
amazing.
know, if you check the
Yeah.
video, go on YouTube and check 200 years of data. I think something like that. Data never lies. There's a
Wow.
way he coined it. That is very
Wow.
massive. That technology is used.
Wow.
Open
Wow.
space, visualizing data, how the population and poverty has evolved for thousands of years.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that
You can
visuals. I've
recall
seen
now,
that
you know,
visual.
and it has a
Yeah, I've seen
lot
that
of
visual.
stories
Yeah.
around that for public. So that guy inspires me. Far back 2016, that made me to start
Wow.
learning how can I be better with visualization? How can I tell
Hmm.
stories with
Hmm.
data? So these guys, I see
Hmm.
them from afar. I don't end up interfacing with them, but I pick, courage and strength from what they do, and I use that to inspire myself. So sometimes you can be
Yeah.
monitoring the work of a mentor from afar. He might not even know that you are his mentee, but you are studying him and you are indirectly learning from him. So that's also there. But if you are
Wow.
looking for mentors,
Wow.
first belong to a community. We have data
Hmm.
science community, we have Power BI community, we have there are different communities. If you don't have anyone, you don't
Where
know
are these
anyone.
communities?
Okay,
When do
good.
you join them?
Okay, first, Nigeria. Within Nigeria, the first one is for
Okay.
Data Science Nigeria. If you go to their
Yeah.
website, you will even see opportunity to join some of their groups. They have
Wow.
Telegram groups. You start from there. Number two, on LinkedIn,
Mm-hmm.
search for Data Science Group alone. You will see many of us, they are there.
Yeah.
You say, these guys, are mutual connection, they are there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you see the ones that are in Nigeria, you see the ones that are outside Nigeria, you see global ones, you see
Mm-hmm.
local ones, join them. And from there, you will see people that you think you can message. Like, do you have any, you see these guys from Nigeria, just ask them, do you belong to any community in Nigeria? Or do you have any learning group, maybe Saturday learning group? Good. Another way is Meetup, and there's the other, there's meetup.com. There's this other site for events, Eventbrite. If you go there and register and you look for your location, Nigeria, and maybe Lagos, anywhere, or you just use Nigeria, you see AI Saturday, different things Saturday, join those groups. From there, you'll be able to interact and connect with other people. So easily from those
Wow.
communities, you see people that were experienced that can even talk to. Wow, I just joined this community, this and this, I admire you. From there, you get to know them. So, of course, you can also
Wow.
monitor people on LinkedIn because you connect with them and you see that these guys are doing well. So you like their post, you react to their post, and you send them. When you are sending requests, don't just connect. Click on the three dot option if you are using your phone, and you see personalized invite. Use personalized invite. Type a message to them. Hi, I've been following you for quite some times now. You are doing super amazing in this space. I so much value your work. I'm also coming up in this space, and I believe, and since we share similar passion about
Yeah.
data, I would like to connect with you. I will appreciate if you can accept this connection. As simple as it is. When it comes as a
Yeah.
message. You will see the connection
Mm-hmm.
because you see the message. There's higher likelihood of accepting that request than someone that just come there like that, you know.
Yeah.
So that's another hack to
Wow.
connect to those people that you are looking forward to connect to.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Ola, thank you so much. So, guys, you can reach out to anybody, anyone. I think I met Ola in an interview. He was interviewing me for a role and had the conversation. I went to LinkedIn. I think you mentioned David Abu as well. I went to LinkedIn and sent the connection immediately because this is how you know people in the community who have been there already. And so I know Ola now. I now know David. There's someone called David. So from David, I'll get to know other people in the space, and I'm increasing my network, increasing my learning opportunities as well. So guys, there's so much information. So anybody you see that I can learn from, hey, hook up with them. People are nice. People are they won't they will rarely say no to mentorship, like rarely say no. So hit up and get a mentor to help you push your learning to the next level.
Yeah,
So
just to
I
add quickly, David, I just want to add something that
yeah,
when you're approaching a mentor,
yes please.
be very objective. There are quite some
Okay,
things. Some people just come, I want to learn data analysis. You know, they'll be quite. So even your first
be
introductory thing,
specific.
once they accept your
Mm,
message, tell them
mm,
I have
mm,
developed interest in maybe for since 1 year. I've been learning data science or data
mm,
analysis. These are the courses I've done. These are the things I've been able to do, but I'm still struggling to take my knowledge from beginner to intermediate.
Next level.
And you get, so the mentor knows, aha, this guy is doing something. I just need to come in and help tie the knowledge gap. It's easier for them
He's
to come
doing
in, not
something.
turn your mentor
He's
to
doing
your
something.
coach, not turn them to,
Your
you're all
tutor.
busy, your tutor.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much for that. So, guys, you can see this. You can come back and watch the video. This video will be available on my channel, also available on Ola's channel. That's what he does on his channel. He's in mentoring as well. He's giving the opportunity free of charge. You go there and learn it. Same thing as on this channel as well. So you just come, consume the content, learn it, and improve yourself. A quick question I'd like to ask that came while you were talking. So the data space, like we have data visualization, data cleaning, data engineering. Do you think beginners should like be specific on where they want to build their strengths? Because like you said, you love visualization, right? I don't know if that's like that you like your passion. Would you say beginners should like have a passion in maybe data visualization, reporting, or data cleaning or data engineering, things like video ETL pipeline and stuff like that. Should beginners have those nuanced focus areas while learning, or they should just see to get a holistic picture for now and until later on they can now focus on a particular niche? What do you
This
think?
is a very good question that a lot of people are not asking, or people are not even taking
Yeah,
advantage of today.
yes,
Everyone you see around this side want to learn data science. At the end, you see that all they can do is to be a data analyst, or a
mm,
BI analyst. Some people have the
yeah,
potential of even being an AI engineer, of being a data
wow,
engineer, but data science seems to be the center, the crust. Everything they just is a name, like, okay, McLean. Those days, you know McLean seems to be what toothpaste. That's the toothpaste. And that's the way it is today. Data science is what people just call, but in reality, that is not always what everyone wants to do when you move closely. And that is why it's good to understand those rules, understand your strengths, and decide what should I then focus on. I will advise this way. Number one, data by default, you should be good with data analysis, because even if you want to go to the realm of data science, your knowledge of data analysis and those tools and the rest will help you and make it smoother for you. If you want to go to data engineer, which is now the hot cake replacing we analytic engineer now, hot cake replacing the data science, it's good to be focused to maybe streamline that instead of just saying data science,
okay,
and maybe be more specific. And I was mentioning that first, at least at the bare minimum, understand data analysis. So meaning today, if you are presented with that opportunity, you can go in, get the data from where they are, understand the KPIs, and build the report using any of the
yeah,
tools available. Okay, so
yeah,
then I'm talking about the analytics engineer, which is another aspect. You know, that analytics engineer, the data analyst will still help you, because if you want to build
mm-hmm.
pipelines and build data models, you need to also, your knowledge of data analysis, understanding building KPIs and just will help you to preempt what the business needs, the best way to solve the challenge for them. When we're building the model, should I use the star schema? Should I use different? You understand the kind of schema to use, because you do not just know what they want to do. You can visualize at the end, this is what they will need. Then that will help you. So
Mm,
what I would say is this: first, data analysis is more or less the ground floor. Start there. And if you think that you can take it more than that, if you have the good programming, SQL, and the rest, analytics engineer is something worth considering, and it's very hot today.
wow,
Also, data
wow,
science is something that is, guys, you cannot learn data science and not be good at programming. Let's not deceive ourselves. And that's reality that a lot of people have not accepted today.
mm,
You need to be
wow,
good with
wow.
programming. There's no, in fact, not just the regular Python alone. Over time, you start using Git again,
Yeah,
GitHub, so
Git, yeah, for version control.
there's
Yeah.
another thing. Version control is the model deployment. Most of the job you will get, you'll be the one to deploy the model.
Mm. Wow.
So
Wow. And use
maybe
APIs, right? At
staying
those
in
points.
the, maybe being your being that data analyst will have been more suitable. You
It's
know, the
best for
time
you,
you
right?
invested in all those things, you have invested in learning more about visualization, taking it beyond just visualization to storytelling,
Mm.
because that's something lacking today for data
Wow.
analysts. They cannot tell stories
Mm.
with visualization, just be KPIs and the rest. So the moment
Mm.
you just invest your time instead of just going the route of data science, if you don't have the capability, how can I tell more stories now with this data that I have? You know,
Mm.
that can help. So so I'm going to say it's good to identify. You might need to talk to a lot of people to know where your strength is and what you should do. But it's good to be focused. Do I want to be a business intelligence analyst? They're making their money. Do I want to be a data
Yeah.
scientist? Because these days you see data science even writing JavaScript. In JavaScript, they're building machine learning model. So you need to be
Wow.
able to learn. But are you sure this is cut
You
out
have the
for you?
time.
You
Yeah.
get so
Yeah.
it's evolving. It's not just going to rest on Python alone. All right, or R, all
Wow.
those things. It's not going to rest on them alone. More tools will start bringing libraries that can allow them to do data science, machine learning, and the rest. So if you take it out of that, then you
Wow.
consider analytics engineering, which is very hot cake now, and you also think
Mhm.
about AI engineer. Which is more or less those guys that
Wow.
focus on deploying. They use
Machine
DevOps,
learning engineering.
MLOps, yeah, to deploy. But
Wow.
you need to be in,
MLOps.
yeah,
Like the
MLOps
field is revolving. Like
is fast
you just
evolving.
get to yeah.
MLOps, data
Wow.
ops. We have data ops now, MLOps, data ops, and we
Whoa.
have
I've heard of that.
DevOps
Wow.
itself, which is the father. So uh,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
these are different things. So if you want to go and do MLOps and the rest, you will see more of that job opportunity in this space,
Mm-hmm.
But you must
Mm-hmm.
have been able to
Mm-hmm.
demonstrate that you know analysis, you know how to build a
Okay.
model before you can even say you are deploying
Mm-hmm.
something. You get
Deploy it.
so even
Yeah.
you are teaching yourself, you must have a model to build. You understand the process. Then you now say, okay,
Mm-hmm.
let me build the pipeline to push to production and do all those other things. So it's continuum.
Wow.
So you can always start from one place, but it's good to know where you belong and
Wow.
just focus and go in there.
Wow, wow. Sola, thank you so much. Like it's really been an I want to go on like so much questions to ask, right? But then we can't do it for a long time, right? I really I really so much appreciate this session. It's really been insightful for me as best. I think we would have to have a part two for intermediate learners, right? We have to now scale the
Okay, good,
questions higher for people who are on
good.
intermediate level. We have to have a part two
Yeah,
conversation on that. Thank you
great.
so much. Thank
Thank
you.
you, David. You're doing awesomely well. And again, I will encourage everyone, please. So much is coming from David in 2022. The best we can do for
Oh,
people like
thank
this
you.
is to
Thank you.
subscribe to their channel. Support them, support them. If you support and also recommend in case there are topics,
Mm,
I don't like because it's not doing what do you want to learn? Let him know. You're going to
mm,
come up with that, of
mm.
course, because the goal is to impart more, is to share more knowledge with
Yeah.
us. All right. So thank you, everyone. And thank you, David,
Yeah.
again.
Wow.
Compliment of the
Thank you,
season.
Ola. Before you go, give us a final word. Give us a final word. Just a final word before you go. Whatever.
My final word will be my quote. And that
Yes.
quote,
Mm.
I'm going to I'll put it this way: data is the new oil. Some people will say it's the soil, whatsoever it is now. Data is the soil and the new oil. Data is the soil and is the new oil. And we live in an oil country where nobody is drilling. That is not a
Mm,
challenge at all. It is an opportunity.
mm,
So what
mm.
that means is there's still more that we've not unlocked in terms of value in data in
Yeah.
Nigeria. It is not a
Mm.
challenge, it is an opportunity. So always use this to
Wow.
encourage yourself. There's a room for me, there's a place for me, there's something I must do. So keep learning, keep imparting, keep building, and keep deploying.
Thank you, Ola. Thank you so much. Guys, you've heard it from the mouth of the MVP himself. His experience. I don't need to say so much about him. You can already hear it says data is a new oil. We live in a world where no one is drilling. So, guys, drill. There's so much opportunity. There's so much space for you. Go out there and drill. Get your hands dirty. Build, deploy, engage yourself. And in a matter of years, you'll find yourself where you want to be. Thank you, guys. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also visit our last channel, subscribe to improve your learning. Thank you guys. Till we meet next time. Bye.
Bye.